You might have heard this word thrown around a lot, CICD. What does it actually mean? Well, technically, it just means continuous integration, continuous delivery. And it is a very big part of all of the big organizations that are trying to ship products day in and day out. But what are the challenges over here? What problem are we trying to solve? In this particular video, we are going to look at this very important concept of DevOps. We are going to understand what is a CI/CD pipeline and how does it ensure that the software that you're shipping is always robust. So let's find out more about it. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. What we're going to do is we will go incrementally and try to understand what are the hurdles that we face at each part of the process. For example, when you are writing code all by yourself, that is the easy part. I mean, not easy, but simple enough. You know that, okay, this is the code base that you are maintaining and you can just keep on making edits. You know that, okay, something breaks. This is what I need to fix. The problem comes when there are a lot of people working in your team on the same code base. Now, what happens? Everyone will try to edit the same software at the same time. And inherently, it is very, very possible that there exists a conflict between what you wrote versus what some other person wrote. Now, how do you resolve it? If your team size is very small, then yes, you can talk to that individual and try to fix out that, okay, you did this, I did this, and find a middle ground in between or accept someone else's solution. Correct? But the problem lies when all of this happens at a very huge scale. Think about an organization that has over thousands of employees. How do you manage all of that? You may say that, okay, I use version control. But version control only guarantees you that, okay, this is a previous version and I can restore over there. But how do you ensure and know that your changes are not breaking mine and my changes don't break anything that you wrote? Because a lot of things goes in before you can actually ship the code. And when you talk about shipping a code, it is not just that, okay, you write down all of the code, you just zip it and then you can ship it to the customer. There is a lot of things involved in it. For example, you write the code, you have your entire team, they work on different modules, and now you have everything structured nicely and very well. The next part is running the actual build. This is where you compile your entire code, you bundle it in whatever package you wanted, and then you have a final artifact that you want to share. This artifact could be an RPM file, it could be a Python wheel file, it could be an APK, or simply a package that gets installed on someone's laptop. Eventually, what happens is this gets deployed and then your end user will finally see something on their screen. Over here, I have some sort of a website or a shopping app that I'm trying to publish. What I'm trying to say over here is that your source code is never the product. Think about it. When you look at the Android operating system, you know that that particular source code has tens of thousands of files. You don't ship that. There has to be a complete build process that is gonna combine all of the modules together and then give you some kind of a ROM that you flash on your device, and then ultimately that particular thing works on your phone. Correct? So you can think about it. This complete build process must be orchestrated somehow. That is how all of the magic works. In a nutshell, if you try to look at the entire process, the process involves developing where you write down and do everything on your local machine. You know that, okay, this code is working on my machine and you feel confident that, okay, I can move on to the next step. Then you would build your code and try it that, okay, everything works as expected on your machine. Then you can test it out, right? And all of this is a manual process. So what used to happen up until CI/CD pipelines existed? This entire thing used to be tested out manually. For example, that you make your changes, people used to have a separate build machine that made sure that, okay, everything stays consistent. Because you can think like this. Your machine is running some certain software. Your teammate's machine has some other software. The versions could be different. How do you ensure that everything stays consistent? That is where the build machine helped to solve all of this problem. The build machine used to provide a specific environment in which everything was as desired. Your code comes in, then a tester would actually try to build it up and make all of their tests run on your code. If everything checks out, they move on to the next stage And that is how the cycle used to happen. And various technologies just kept coming, which made this thing easier. For example, Docker containers. Docker containers gave each developer the same kind of an isolated environment where they could test their own things and feel more confident that their code is gonna work perfectly on the build machine as well. But do you see the problem with this approach? In this particular process, notice that at every step, someone has to manually intervene and make sure that the process is correct. For example, Raj is trying to build all of this, Sam has to rerun all of the tests, and Lee has to run some of the scripts to actually release something. So, whenever you have a human in the loop, there are always chances that some steps might get forgotten. Sometimes you might have to wait on other person who is not available. So all of this eventually led to delays in release. You might have seen for yourself. In the earlier days, app updates, version updates, they used to come very sparingly. But now they are very much faster. So how is all of that happening? All of that happens because of the CI/CD pipeline. In a nutshell, a CI/CD pipeline tries to automate all of this process. Basically, you remove the human from the loop, and every commit that you make, every change that you are making goes through the same pipeline. So over here, as a developer, you are just responsible for developing your code. After that, what you're going to do is you just push your code, and this is where the magic of continuous change happens. This is why it is called continuous integration. You will have an automated pipeline where you define what tests need to be done, how to build everything. So you just push your change, and then everything builds up automatically and it gets tests automatically. When I say automatically, it does not mean that the tests are automatically written too. You write down all of your build steps, you write down all of your testing steps. I'm just trying to say that all of this goes through a pipeline, such that every developer on your team goes through the same process. No steps are forgotten and nobody is actually waiting on anyone. Now, when all of this is done, it goes to the process of continuous delivery. Continuous delivery means that once your code is ready, once you have made sure that, okay, all of my tests are working, all of my build is working as expected, now you're ready to release it. And notice that all of this process is automated. Every developer, any commits that they make, they are gonna go through the same process and nothing gets skipped. This is the magic of CI/CD pipeline. However, based upon the type of software you are writing, you can determine when you want to have the process of delivery. For example, if it is a web app, it might be fine that, okay, once you have made the changes, you can just try to publish and your changes are live. However, if you have apps or software that are very, very sensitive, then you can have some sort of an approval gate. So when you made the changes, now you're ready that, okay, I have built and tested all of my things. But before releasing, you have a human intervention in between. The responsibility of this human is to make sure that, okay, everything is as expected. These are the changes that you wanted, and then you would manually approve the release. As soon as you manually approve it, it goes through the delivery cycle, and then your app is ultimately live. The whole basis of a CI/CD pipeline is that nothing gets in before you can prove it yourself that, okay, everything works as expected. Now, what does this magical CI/CD pipeline looks like? You might be wondering that, okay, how is this happening all of automatically? Well, the funny part is that your CI/CD pipeline is basically just a text file. This particular text file, how it is written, it just depends on the software you are using. You might have heard of Jenkins as a very popular CI/CD tool. But these days, GitHub Actions is a very popular tool a lot of companies are using. The primary reason being that GitHub Actions is available directly in your GitHub repo and you can take advantage of it. So how does this file look like? For example, if I give you a very simple CI/CD pipeline, this is what happens. You name your file anything that you want, and when do you want to run it? You want to run it on every push. Anytime a developer makes a commit, you want to run your pipeline. So the next step is you define, okay, where do you want to run it? Because currently you have been writing all of your code on your local laptop, but suddenly that is not what is desired. You want to make sure that every developer, no matter what code they write, Before pushing it out to production, you want to make sure that, okay, I have tested my code in an isolated environment, something that is always gonna work. Because on a local machine, you might have changes you didn't even think about. You might have configurations set up that are not a part of the actual product that is shipped. So this is where you define that, okay, I want to run my code on Ubuntu latest. This can be any Docker image that you want to run. This Docker image could be customized as well. That, okay, you have defined a custom Docker image where all of your software runs. So now you have set up two basic things, that when do you want to run it and where do you want to run it. The next part is, what do you actually want to happen in your CI/CD pipeline? And notice the steps over here. The first step is that you try to get the code. Get code means you are just checking out your GitHub repo. Then you are installing all of your dependencies. I'm using npm install. It installs all of the Node packages. It could be all of the Python packages. It could be all of the Java packages. Based upon whatever language you are working on, you define how to install those dependencies. If you're using Maven, if you're using PyPy, if you're using Poetry, all of that is completely up to you. Now you have got, okay, you got your code, you got all of the tools that you need. The next part is actually building it. And notice, all of this is very specific to the software that you're writing. Based upon that, you are going to define how to do all of that. How to fetch all of the packages, how to build and how to test. Over here, I run an npm run build. This is going to run the command and actually try to build the package. After that, I test everything and then move ahead. The reason all of these steps are defined in such a way such that if anything fails, the pipeline is going to break, and as a developer, you will know that, okay, something is wrong. On your local machine, it could be possible that the run succeeded. But on your CI/CD pipeline, since this is an isolated environment, your build could fail. Now it is up to you to decide, is it failing because of the changes that you did, or there is some issue with the pipeline itself? Mostly the cause is a change that you have on your machine. So this is a very good chance where you can go and actually fix it. Similarly, even for the tests, maybe there was a test that you skipped out. Maybe there was a test that is not configured on your machine. In this CI/CD pipeline, you can configure all of those tests and make sure that everything works as expected. If any step fails, your pipeline is gonna break, and then you can iterate upon it again. You can naturally see how much confidence it can give you while you're shipping your code. Once you have achieved all of the steps, you have now completed the continuous integration part, the CI part. The next part is actually deploying and actually delivering. So notice what I do over here. In the next step, I decide that, okay, only if the branch is main, only then I am allowed to deploy. So I have a gate over here such that I only want to deploy whenever I'm on the main branch. Because think like this, there are a lot of developers, they will be working on the feature branches. You don't want every code to go out in production. So all of these steps are gonna run for every commit, but this step will not run. So although you have made sure that with every change your code is not breaking, you are still confident that this is not going out into prod. That is why this entire pipeline makes a lot of sense, and it helps to make sure that everything is working as expected. None of the developers get blocked, and everyone, they make sure that, okay, something that they want will only go out into production. That is why I have the check of a main branch. Because usually in organizations, once you have completed upon a feature, you are going to go through a review cycle. Some other colleague or a senior is going to review it. If everything looks good, they merge it into main. As soon as it's into main, then your feature actually goes live and it is deployed out into production. The last thing that I want to touch upon is the difference between continuous delivery and continuous deployment. They are more or less the same, but the only difference lies between the type of product that you're trying to ship. If you have a large enough team, you can easily understand that there might be a lot of features that get ready to ship. Every developer, they try to make their own feature branch and they merge it. They are ready that, okay, I have done my part. Sometimes you may not want to release every feature. You can see that some apps have a life cycle of weekly. Some apps do it bi-weekly, whereas some are very, very dynamic and they just keep on coming in. So for example, if a lot of developers are working on, they all have built, tested and packaged the pipeline. All of these versions are ready. Now, how do you decide, okay, which version to ship? Whenever you are satisfied at a particular version, what you do is you decide that, okay, I have to release a particular version and only that version is going to get shipped. So a human is actually trying to decide what version gets delivered. That is where continuous delivery comes in. The next part is continuous deployment. And you might have already guessed, there are no versions lying around. It is just a single cycle that keeps on happening with every feature that you're trying to commit and merge. So that is just a tiny difference between both of these terminology. But it just depends on what kind of an app are you trying to build. If it is a web app, you can just ship every commit and you can roll back in minutes. For example, if it is a mobile app, you might have to review that, okay, do I even want this feature or not? For a banking app, the human gate isn't a friction, it is a desired feature because all of the data is very, very sensitive. So based upon your choice, you decide if you want continuous delivery or if you want continuous deployment. In most of the cases, it is gonna be a human gated method where you get to decide that, okay, once the pipeline is complete, do I actually want to ship it or not? Because when you think about it, just try to look at the entire video holistically. What are we trying to solve? We are trying to prevent the cost of a bad release. Think like this, when everything was manual, even a small miscalculation, even a small mistake can lead to something going bad in production. That means you lose customers. That means you lose the trust. So this CICD pipeline is actually trying to solve all of that. Yes, you can use version control to roll back to a previous version. But even when you roll back, you have to go through all of that review process again. You will still want to test out everything. With the CI/CD pipeline, you can review the changes that you want. You can review how your new software must be tested. And then every new commit can come along the same way. Think again like this. There are hundreds of people working on the same software. So some senior people can decide that, okay, any new version that gets released has to now follow these certain tests. There is something that they found out and they added it to the CI/CD pipeline. Any developer that is working on it, if they try to make commits, it is gonna go through the new CI/CD pipeline and it is gonna fail because they did not account for a particular test. Even for packages, if you decide that, okay, this package has some security issue, you can remove it from your pipeline. So any new release going forward will make sure that any developer won't even use that package mistakenly. So there are a lot of benefits which can come from a CI/CD pipeline. While going throughout this video, what thoughts came into your mind? How do you think a CI/CD pipeline can be even more useful? Have you used it in your day-to-day job as well? Tell me about it in the comment section below and I would love to know what kind of methodologies do you have in mind. If you found this video helpful, please do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This really keeps me motivated and I can make more such videos. Also, a huge shout out to all of the members who support my channel. You guys really keep me going. As a member, you do get priority reply to your comments and early access to new videos as well. Also remember that now you can schedule a one-to-one session with me and we can discuss about any of these things that you like. Stay tuned for my upcoming video. Until then, see ya.